What is going on, everyone? Upper body guide. I'm just going to keep it real simple. This is going to include a bit of science. We're going to be going over chest, back, arms, and forearms. So we're going to keep it real simple. First disclaimer before we start. Train exercises 0 to 1 hour IR. Train exercises 0 to 1 hour IR. Or go to failure to increase your fatigue, you know. 2 sets dependent on your split. You know, if you're doing an upper body split, you might do 1 to 2 sets. Back and bi day, 2 sets. However, no matter the exercise, as long as you train hard, progressive overload and recover, you're gonna grow no matter what. How this guide is going to work: first, I'm going to show you a quick easy anatomy, and then second, we'll show the exercises and explanations. So first, chest. I hope that shows on camera. What it look like. This is someone who doesn't train chest and someone who does. Okay. Sternocostal head. Sternocostal head. Middle fibers, lower fibers. They pretty much expand across your full chest. And then you have the clavicular head, which is your upper pec fibers. They run upper. Yeah. How to chest. So you only need 2 movements for chest, which is a press variation and a fly variation. Okay, so for the chest, I always opt for a converging chest press just because it feels most natural and it's the best for progressive overload. However, you can do a normal machine chest press. You can do a dumbbell press. However, the stability issues that you have with it, I tried it for a while. I got really strong on it and then I stopped because machine is better. And for fly, you can do any fly. Cable pec deck, or cable chest fly, cuff chest fly. So just a one quick thing, anything that I highlight in bold in the exercises, that's the exercise that I do. The only thing to mention with chest training is when you're doing your presses and flies, if you are doing your press and you have your humerus, which is your upper arm bone, adducted towards your torso, which means tucked in, you press like this. You want to do your fly with your arm horizontally abducted, like this, and vice versa. So if you do your chest press like this, you would do your fly variation coming up. That's the only thing you need to know about chest training. And if you want a big chest, you prioritize that first. Back. What it look like. You have your traps, trapezius, which is the big, thick, juicy. Then you have your rhomboids and your lats. You know, the lats, arguably, in my opinion, the most important. You know, gives you the V-taper. How to back, right? It looks like there's a lot going on here, but we're going to take it step by step. And we're going to go for it. So, requires 3 movements. Transversal plane, frontal, and sagittal. All this means is a stupid way of saying you cut your body in half, in half, in half. So if you just look down at this, I'm going to zoom in for you guys at home here. So, here. So transverse, you cut it across horizontally, also known as the horizontal plane. Frontal plane, you cut your body in half, flipped over. So the front is the front. Sagittal, you cut your body in half again, but right down the middle. So it's anything across. Now that we've explained that, how do I? There we go. Okay. Transversal plane. What exercises will you do for the transversal plane? Chest, anything with your arms horizontally abducted. Like we said before with chest flies, except we're just doing it for back. So a chest supported row, T-bar row, cable row, anything that has your arms and your elbows flared out, and you shrug back and row. Also, you can do Kelso rows, shrugs. Wide train, the traps and the rhomboids. Easy. There you go. Now, frontal plane, like we said before, anything in front of you. So like a lat pull down, a pull up, those are pretty much the two that I would do. So this trains your lats and teres major and teres minor. Yep. Easy, simple. And then you have your sagittal plane rows. What a train, your lats. What exercises? Anything with your arms adducted towards your torso, like this. You're pulling. So I always opt for a cable unilateral meaning one arm, lat row, and I just feel like that's the best for me. But you can do a machine lat row with both arms, a dumbbell lat row, anything that just has your humerus coming down like this. Arms. What it look like. Okay. 3 heads to the tricep. You have your long head, which is the thick, meaty part. You have your medial head, which is just the other side. And then your lateral head is just below your long head down here. Biceps, I'm not going to show you that because you can't see it. I'm not lean enough, I'm so fat and ugly. Long head, short head. You don't need to worry about anything about that. And the brachialis, we'll go into that for the part 2 of the arms, part 1. Okay, how to arms. Don't overcomplicate it. Your bicep flexes your arm and your triceps extend. That's it. Me personally, I just pick one movement for each and just get strong as fuck on that, because anything else overcomplicates the session and anything else I can't be asked doing. So, curl. What do exercise? Any descending resistance curl. So that means it's easier at the top, gets harder at the bottom in a stretch. So that could be a dumbbell preacher curl, a machine preacher, cable curl, anything that flexes your arm and feels hardest at the bottom. Get strong on that, progressive overload, easy. Triceps. So, extension. You want your shoulder fixed to your side and push down. That's it. That's all you need to do. What exercise? Fix your shoulder and extend. Cable extension, unilateral, that's what I do. I like to cuff at the wrist so I don't have to hold it, and use the Bluetooth handle. Cable push down also will work. I guess it's a cable extension. Just keep your arm fixed, your shoulder fixed. And that emphasizes the long head. It trains other heads too, bro, but it will emphasize the long head. Medial and lateral will get trained. Now, don't overcomplicate it. I complicate it. I'm sorry. Sorry, that was really weird. Okay, arms part 2. Brachialis, overheads, emphasis. Like we said, in the triceps we've got the long head, lateral and medial head. And what I said before was the long head was emphasized in an extension with your shoulder fixed. Now, medial and lateral head will get emphasized. And then for the bicep exercise I'm going to show you now, the brachialis will get emphasized. So, brachialis. What exercise? Anything with wrist neutral or pronated. So a hammer curl or even a reverse curl is going to train your brachialis, wherever that is. I can't show you because I can't see it. What exercise? Anything with a wrist neutral, pronated. Preacher hammer, preacher machine hammer, easy. Also will train your bicep, but you're emphasizing your brachialis. Now, JM press. Unlike the tricep extension where you have your shoulder fixed, you're going to have your humerus moving, which is this, and your shoulder moving like this, like that, or even a dip, like this. You see how the tricep, or the humerus, sorry, is moving and the shoulder is not fixed? What it trains, medial and lateral head, also long head, but whatever. Just emphasised. What exercises, JM press dip. And you might have noticed none of these are in bold, and that's because I don't do them, because I don't overcomplicate it. I might do in the future, I have done in the past, and I've just thought it's not worth it for me, personally. Shoulders. What it look like. Front delt, I don't know if you can see it here. Front delt, side, and rear delt. I don't know if it's going to show on camera, I might not even show that. But you can see it in the diagram. Front, side, rear. Easy, because it's on the front and the side and the rear. Now, how do shoulders? 3 heads to the shoulder, the front, the side, and the rear. Now, front delt, you can opt for either a shoulder press machine, dumbbell press even, or a cable front raise. Now, there's a bit of nuance for this with side delt and front delt colliding, but if you train your side delt, which we will go on to next, you would only come to 90 degrees for your front raise. And I'll explain that later. And the cable front raise, as shown in the diagram, drew by yours truly, you want the cable stack pulling initially at 90 degrees, so you've got the resistance hardest at the bottom. That's it. Now, side raise, again, just like front delt, you want it 90 degrees at the bottom, the hardest part. Easy. What exercises? Cable lateral raise, like I was just saying, or a lat raise machine, or upright rows, ... I've never done it, but I know it trains side delt. I wouldn't do it, but it's just if you want. Like I was saying before, front and side delt can collide, kind of, because if you look at the movement of a lateral raise, you bring your shoulder like this. And when I said to stop at 90 degrees, that's because when you come down, you're coming down into that lateral raise sort of position. Now, if I extend my arm, what does that look like? A lateral raise. And if I just bring my arm up, shoulder press. Which is why you would only come to 90 degrees, because then it's a bit of redundant training, and we don't want to do that. We don't want to waste time while we're in the gym. Rear delt. Super easy rear delt fly or cable rear delt fly. I really like cable rear delt fly because I can set it up in which the resistance is pulling 90 degrees when my arm is straight, stretched, and come back here. Just feels the best for me. Again, you don't have to do that. It might not feel good for you. Rear delt fly. Anything that horizontally abducts away. Forearms. What it look like. So, you have your brachioradialis, we'll go on to in a second, your wrist flexors, your arms coming down, and you're flexing your wrist, contracting, and then you have your wrist extensors, which for some reason are not on this diagram. This, you can see it when I do that. I don't know if it's going to show on the camera. Oh, it does. Sorry, my fault. Extensor muscles. Pretty much the back is the extensor, the inside is your flexor. And then brachioradialis is this lump of hunk. How to forearms. Only need 2 exercises. But you also have the hammer if you want to do that. So kind of 3. So, because hammer is kind of biceps as well. Flexion, what exercises? Dumbbell forearm curl, cable forearm curl, anything that just has resistance pulling down and you're flexing up like this. That's it. Extension, what exercises? Dumbbell extensions, cable extensions, the same thing. Anything that's going to resist the opposite way, produce force that you need to pull against, push against, whatever. And then hammer. What exercises? Any curl within neutral grip is going to train your brachioradialis, which again is this muscle on your forearm. Now, if you notice as well, none of these are in bold because I don't do them. And this is what this point is for. Train forearms if necessary. Sometimes your forearms aren't lacking, it's everything. Thank you for watching. I hope this guide was helpful to those who watched, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, advanced, because we can all learn everything. We can all learn something new, which is what I hope you have from this video. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comments. I will respond to all of them, most likely. Have a good day. I'll see you guys in the next one.